the book within their left hand side. Faddal. And then Allah says of a third category, وَالسَّابِقُونَ السَّابِقُونَ, those who are the foremost in doing things. أُولَٰئِكَ الْمُقَرَّبُونَ. You can take a chance if you want, Judgment Day, and be of the people of the right or the left. But Allah would rather have you as-sabiqun, people of the foremost, always rushing to do the right thing before everybody else. Ali ibn Abi Talib salamullahi alayhi was the biggest example of the foremost people on any arena, whether it was giving, whether it was patience, whether it was manners. Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam was the leader in that event. He looks over to his daughter days before he was killed. At night, it was during the holy month of Ramadan. And he says, during the midnight hours, he says, Bunayya, what do you have for me to eat? He says, no problem. She brings him yogurt, halib, leban, and a little bit of salt, right? And bread. She puts, he looks at the bread and he looks at the yogurt. He says, you know what? Bunayya Kulthum, it's been a long time since somebody's been really that disrespectful towards me. What did I do? She says, Bunayya aturidina an yatul wuqufi gadan yawm al-qiyamah bayna yaday Allah. Do you want me Judgment Day when Allah separates me? وَكُنْتُمْ أَزْوَاجًا ثَلَاثًا. You want me to stay long Judgment Day? You're serving me two types of food, yogurt and bread? لا. ما لعلي ونعيم يفنى. Ali, are you trying to send a message that you will only eat one type of food in this? Ali, if you were to come over to our dinner tables, you would have a heart attack. If you only know how much food we throw away after feeding our children, how many kitchens, how many dinner tables, the sandwiches of our children are left there because they eat a bite and they run to the computer, and we end up doing what? We end up throwing it, not knowing we are throwing our lives away within that. This has no punishment? Ali ibn Abi Talib says, no, whoa, this is the way it's going to be. I'm sure the children over there all eat their sandwiches, all of them, right? Right, boys? Absolutely. Right? Imam Ali says, he takes his piece of clothing and he says, لَقَدْ رَقَعْتُ مِنْ دَرِعَتِي حَتَّى اسْتَحَيْتُ مِنْ رَاقِعِهَا. The one that used to patch up my clothing, I used to give him this piece of clothing to patch it up until I became ashamed of the patcher. They told him, he says, وَاللَّهِ لَوْ أُعْطِيتُ الْأَقَانِيمَ السَّبْعَ. If you were to give me the 7 galaxies, the 7 spheres, you put that in one hand, under one condition, عَلَى أَنْ أُعْصِيَ اللَّهِ عَلَى أَنْ أُعْصِيَ اللَّهِ, that I may disobey Allah. في بعوضة أسلبها جلب شعيرة ما فعلت. If you were to give me the 7 spheres, that I may disobey Allah by taking away the morsel of food from the ant, I will never do that. ما لعلي ونعيم يفنى ولذة لا تبقى. Ali can never be fooled with this world, whatever it offers. Why? Because it has an end. And it can never entertain Ali ibn Abi Talib. ما رأيت كالنار نام هاربها. I didn't see anything like the fire. The one who stays away from it is sleeping. ولا رأيت كالجنة نام طالبها. Nor did I see anything like the heaven. He who seeks it is also sleeping. السابقون السابقون are the only ones that could put their head on the pillow and relax, knowing that calling the angel of death anytime to them, no problem. No problem. Ahlul Bayt Salamullahi alayhim were a grandest example of the foremost. Imam Hussein alayhi salam in Karbala brings all his people. He says, in order for me to achieve what I need to achieve, I have to be the foremost in everything. They say everybody that came for Imam Hussein wanted to fight. Imam Hussein would try to make an excuse, except his only son Ali al-Akbar. Why? He understood, in order for him to be amongst the foremost people, he must sacrifice what he has first. He must do the action first before he preaches to the people. He must lead by example, as they say. So Ali al-Akbar, salamullahi alayhi, walks up to his father Hussein. You know the story. The story goes what? Hussein tells him what? Go to your mother. What a story they fabricated for us. Hussein says, go to your mother. Why? Ask her. He goes to his mother and says, mother, I need to go to bed. Okay. Ali al-Akbar goes to bed, right? Imam Hussein is watching his son. His mother, by the name of Layla, is where? In the camp. She's looking. She sees Imam Hussein's face. Whenever it becomes bright, she knows Ali al-Akbar is doing good. Whenever it becomes dull, means Ali al-Akbar is not doing good. She rushes out to her husband. She says, Imam, what do I do on his mother? What should I do? He says, Ya Layla, I want you to go back to the tent. وَادْعِي لِوَلَدِكِ عَلِي. I want you to pray for your son Ali. Why? Because I heard my grandfather, the Holy Prophet, say, إِنَّ دُعَاءَ الْأُمِّ مُسْتَجَابٌ بِحَقِّ وَلَدِهَا. The mother's supplication is always accepted when it comes down to her son. She goes back, and they say she walks into the tent. She takes her scarf off. She pulls her hair, and she says the ever famous, Ya Rad Yusuf ala Yaqub, Rudda alayya waladi. He who brought Joseph unto Jacob, bring back my son Ali. As if Imam Hussein couldn't supplicate for his own son. As if Imam Hussein has that kind of a female as a wife. As if Imam Hussein alayhi salam wanted his son to be safe in his hands. All of that story is nothing but the fabrication of all these people, the second type, that all they care about is emotion, to stir up the emotion. Imam Hussein alayhi salam wanted his son to be the first and foremost in Karbala. Get this story out of your heads, the one that says Layla took her scarf off and did this. Get out. Leave this fairy tale that you've been living, and while you've been living it, you've been insulting Imam Hussein. This is the type of people that he leads. Ali al-Akbar walks to his father, and he says to his father, Abi, إِذَنْ لِي بِالْبِرَازِ. Imam Hussein smiles, and he says, this is what I've been waiting for. Ya Ali, please go ahead. I want you to go ahead. Imam Hussein raises his hand and raises his head, that a part of him, Ali al-Akbar, is going to fight. And he says, because Ali al-Akbar was the look-alike of the Prophet. He looked like the Prophet. So the Imam al-Hussein says the ever-famous word. He says, Allahumma shahad ala ha'ula'i al-qawm. Allah, I want you to be a witness over these people. Why? فَقَدْ بَرَزَ إِلَيْهِمْ غُلَامٌ أَشْبَهُ النَّاسِ بِرَسُولِكَ. A man just walked up to these people. He is the closest to your prophet. He looks like him. He acts like him. He walks like him. وَكُنَّا كُلَّمَا اشْتَقْنَا إِلَى وَجْهِ رَسُولِكَ نَظَرْنَا إِلَى وَجْهِ. Every time we missed the face of the prophet, we would look at his face. اللهم فامنعهم بركات الأرض ومزقهم تمزيقا واجعلهم طرائق قددا ولا ترغي الولاة عنهم أبدا. This is Ali al-Akbar coming to them. Ali al-Akbar rides his horse. Imam Hussein, proud of his son, he walks over and he arrives within the army. And the army says, it's like a moon came shining over us. And he was saying,